Welcome to episode 14 of Ina Knits, my video podcast about my passions for yarn and knitting. So my name is Ina and I'm coming to you from Norway. And it has been quite a while since my last episode. I have had a much needed break from YouTube, from Instagramming and from knitting. I have barely knitted a stitch since March. So it has been almost 2 months and I can't remember the last time I had such a long break from knitting. Actually, I usually knit almost every day. But when you do something you love very much and you do it so frequently that you almost forget that you enjoy it, it becomes like more of a thing that you have to do rather than a thing you do because you like to do it. And I think that, suddenly I just had the urge to put my knitting away and take a break from it all. And it has been a couple of very relaxing, nice months. So, and I have done other things instead. I have taken up yoga again. I have started attending a meditation class, and I have read a lot of books and articles about like ancient Chinese medicine, and I have discovered the world of essential oils, and I've been growing a lot of plants. I have mentioned before that I really enjoy spending time in my garden during summertime, and garden time is definitely here at the moment. We have beautiful weather and summer temperatures about 20 degrees Celsius, so it's time to be a lot more outdoors. And I haven't recorded anything. I usually record a lot of footage for you, but I have been quite mindful about not sharing and doing things for myself rather than doing it for everybody else. I've been feeling very good, and now I have actually come to the point that I long to knit again. And yesterday I picked up my knitting and I did a couple of rounds on a sock, and I don't know if you know the feeling when you haven't knitted for so many weeks that you really have to practice again to it felt a bit odd to start knitting, and I didn't get the speed up immediately, so I probably have to do some more practice again to get it into my fingers. But I really do hope that you don't feel like I let you down, and I got so many lovely messages and people sending me thoughts and concerns because I disappeared from the interwebs very suddenly just after the Edinburgh Yarn Festival, and I put up a note on the Ravelry group for this podcast, which is Ina Knits yeah, I think you can find it by searching the groups tab on Ravelry. And I just let everybody know that it would be a longer time until the next episode than I had anticipated. And I think I put up like the next episode will come up in April. And April just flew by, and now we are well into May, and yeah, my break lasted longer than I thought it would. So, but thank you so much everybody who have sent me sweet comments about them missing my podcast and concerned about me and asking if everything was okay. And yeah, so I am okay. I do have some issues in my family, but I rather not share it on this podcast. So, but I'm okay, and my family is okay as well. So thank you so much. So, well, wow, as I recall, my plan was to make a new episode right before or right after the Edinburgh Yarn Festival in the middle of March. And obviously I didn't do so. So I have a lot to show you when it comes to like yarn purchases and acquisitions of different sorts. And I also have some finished objects. They are quite old finished objects now, but I haven't shown you all of them. I think I posted a couple of things on Instagram before my break, but on this podcast I haven't shown you. And I also have work in progress or two to show you as well. So I think I'd like to start off with showing you the finished objects. So this is the Love You Baby shawl, and it is a shawl that I knitted together with my friends whom I traveled with to Edinburgh Yarn Festival. So we had this as a common project during the winter months, and it was a lovely and very fun knit. It is a pattern by Susanne Sommer, and it became a bit more like neon pink for my taste. But I think that due to the light grey that I put in, it really calms the neon effect down. So I am comfortable wearing it. I'm not a very neon person, so. And this shawl is knit in 4 sections. So this stripy brioche section is number 1, and this stripy garter ridge section is number 2, and then you have the seed stitch section as number 3, and the edging, which is also 2-color brioche, all the way on the bottom edge as number 4. And according to my notes, I was finished with section 3 last time, so I did the the border and an I-cord bind off around the whole shawl. I have used a combination of single spun merino yarn and I think it is 4-ply sock yarn. I was a bit concerned if that would work well together, but I really think it did. Even though that the sock yarn, which is Berenwolle yarn, it is a bit thicker than the single spun merino yarn. So yeah. And it is of course too hot to wear right now, but you know, in Norway we have the summer weather is varying a lot, so it can still be colder temperatures, allowing me to wear my shawl, especially in the evenings. So, second finished object I have is the Sigrid socks. And these socks is a design by Arctic Knitting or Emilie Bjørnå, who is the Swede person and designer behind Arctic Knitting. And I started knitting these socks a long time ago, and this was a project that I picked up in February, March, and I decided to complete them because they had been laying in hibernation for like a year or something. And it is a very pleasant knit, and it has a beautiful it looks like a cable running down one side of the foot. It is not really a cable, it is just a simple pattern design or feature. And on the other side it's just plain. And I really like that effect. And I have, I think that it was my idea to put in the eye of a partridge heel. And I think that that pattern, that particular pattern is part of the Harmony Everyday Sock, which is a free pattern on Ravelry. But I'm not 100% sure. Sorry, Emilia. I can't remember if that was part of your design or not. I think not. I have used Countess Blaze, I think their standard sock yarn. And the colorway is called Kamikaze. It's a beautiful, beautiful teal blue. I really, really love the color variation. So my third finished object was a pair of socks, and I don't have them here because I knit them for somebody else and I have sent them off to the recipient. And the pattern was Blueberry Waffle socks, which is a free pattern on Ravelry. And then I put in an Afterthought heel, and they were knit out of Patterns Croy, and the heel was leftover solid sock yarn. So that was everything that I have completed, and now off to what's on my needles. And we have more socks. So these are currently on my needles, or this is currently on my needles. But I finished the first sock, and they are the Mercury socks, which is yet another pattern that is free on Ravelry. And it is a very interesting pattern. It's the first time that I'm actually knitting the Mercury socks, even though I've had them on my wish list for a very long time. And if you have watched my previous episode, you might recognize the yarn on the socks, because I have I started off with this particular contrast. Oh my god. My English is very rusty. And I don't think I've spoken a single English word in 2 months now. So please excuse me. I was saying, these socks were supposed to become another pattern that I think I knitted last autumn, if I am, yeah, correct. But I didn't enjoy the pattern on the socks, so they were just languishing for a long time, and then I decided to rip back to the cuff again and start over and trying this sock yarn with the Mercury pattern. Sorry. I'm just laughing at my language. Anyway, I enjoy this tweed yarn a lot more with this pattern. I don't think that the tweed effect destroys or makes the pattern less visible. And I actually love the combination of the brown tweed and this pastel-y, very beautiful contrast yarn. And the contrast yarn is a Walk collection sock yarn, and it is called something with rose. I will put it on the screen. And the brown one is Knit Picks Stroll Tweed. I don't recall the pattern, another color name, but it's a reddish brown color. So yeah, and as I showed you, this is how far I am on sock number 2. I just barely started the pattern of the Mercury socks. And even though it looks quite fancy, the pattern is very easy to remember. So once you have knitted a couple of repeats of the pattern, you will go on autopilot for the rest of the sock. At least I did, and my memory is not the best. But I did it, then you can do it as well. I do have another pair of socks on the needles as well. And this pair I brought with me to Edinburgh, and these are knit out of a sock blank The sock blank was made by Ulltøsene, or rather hand painted by them, and it was like a green scenery with some sheeps on it, and I thought that that was very suitable to knit with when I was in Scotland. And I am quite close to completing the pair. I haven't put in a heel, as you can see on this one, but on this one I'm working on an Afterthought heel. And actually I think I'm ready to graft together the stitches here, and then the first one will be finished. So the contrasting yarn that I am using is Fircolana Arvetta Classic, and this is a very beautiful light pink, color 334. I think it makes a very nice contrast to the green. Yeah. So really enjoyed knitting this pair. I still think that knitting from sock blanks is a lot of fun. And I've actually managed to squeeze the most out of this sock blank. This is my only little leftover from the socks. Very happy about that. I think that the sock blank was a 50 gram sock blank, so half of the standard size. But it was enough when I put in contrast toe and heel, and I didn't make the cuff very long, or the leg very long either. Yeah, that was all of my finished knits and my knitting, current knitting. And I have like a big bunch of yarn here and a couple of books that I have bought with knitting patterns in it, and I have received yarn as well, and I am going to show you that a bit later. I haven't got the time to record a full podcast today, but never mind, you won't notice because I'm going to edit it together nicely for you. Okay, see you later. Good morning! It is a few days later now, and I decided to bring you with me to the cabin. We have been here this weekend, and today is Sunday. And it is early morning. I have been up with my little son for a couple of hours now, and he is playing in the living room, and I thought that I would give you a little update on my purchases. The purchases I did in Edinburgh in March. because I decided to bring the lot with me up here. Partly because well, after the Edinburgh Yarn Festival in the middle of March, I pretty much just left all of the yarns and things that I bought there in the bags, and I haven't looked through it since then, and I really need to get an overview, and I had something there that I really wanted to cast on straight away, but as you already know, I just left my knitting in the middle of March and I haven't picked it up until now. So, would you join me for a little guided tour through the yarn stash from Edinburgh? So here it is in its full glory, and I got 2 of these bags filled to the brim with yarn. Also got a couple of smaller plastic bags with some goodies, and I got this kit which I'm going to start off with showing you, and it is a kit from Spincycle yarn, and I think I've heard of them before, but I've never tried a yarn, and I just accidentally went by their booth at the festival, and the lovely lady who worked for Spincycle yarn, she was just a lovely, sweet woman, and she was wearing this shawl, and I asked her about it, and of course it was a shawl and a design especially made for the festival, and design is The Shift by Andrea Mowry, and I really love that design. I think the combination of the variegated yarn and yeah, how it's put together in the shawl is just beautiful, and it was a very spring-like color combination, so I fell immediately for it. And my intention was to cast on this project as soon as I got back from the festival, but that of course didn't happen. But I brought it with me to the cabin this weekend, and I have a new work in progress. Yippee! And the colors in the background here is very dark, but I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can definitely see here that it is a very dark petrol midnight blue, and you got this green pops and some mint colored pops, and as I work my way through the shawl, you see that the colors will change eventually. So yeah, very enjoyable knits, and this yarn, my god, it's great to knit with. It's quite dry, if that makes any sense. It's very light and like dry to knit with, like pure wool. That's kind of a dry wool, I would describe it as. I really love this knit. The pattern is quite interesting as well. Really like it. So that was that. I'm going to take the rest out of the bags and I will show you the rest. Okay, so I bought 4 sweater quantities of DK yarn during the festival, which is crazy, but DK yarn in sweater quantities was the one thing that I was really looking for during the festival, because I haven't got any of it in my stash. And the first quantity I bought was from Martin's Lab. This is his Comfy DK, which is a superwash merino. And I really like the base. It's beautifully soft and I love the color as well. But I am very anxious to see whether this quality of yarn will pill or not. Well, I guess I have to expect it to pill because it's 100% superwash merino and that tend to pill quite a lot. Anyway, I will try it out and hopefully it will be okay. I also just fell completely in love with this sock blank, which is one of a kind sock blank from Martin's Lab. Yeah, those colors are just gorgeous. Can't wait to knit socks or something like that with it. And this was actually a hank that one of my friends bought from Martin's Lab, and she just regretted the color choice, and I ended up buying it from her. I do think these colors are beautiful, and I don't have a plan for it, but this is superwash merino as well, so I don't think they're very suitable for socks. Maybe a shawl or something like that. Okay, so the second sweater quantity I bought was from Skein Queen. And I discovered these big yarn babies. They are a combination of Exmo Blue Face and organic merino, and that makes the yarn a bit more rustic, but I think it will be perfect for a sweater. And I actually have a sweater in mind, and from the top of my head I can't remember the name, but I will put it up on the screen. But this is actually 512 meters of skein, because these are 200 gram skeins. So 2 of these will be enough for one sweater when I'm going to make a sweater which is has some colors in the yoke, other colors. So it will be enough for one sweater. So this is a bit more light pale lilac in color, and this is much more violets or purple color. But I do have a colors theme here, that's for sure. Okay, so this was the third sweater quantity I bought from Dye Ninja. It's their High Twist Merino DK. And this as well is 100% pure merino. But because it's a high twist merino, I do think that it probably will pill a bit less than the one from Martin's Lab. I can tell that the color is showing up very bright on the camera right now because we have super bright light outside. So it's a lot more dark and not as bright as this. Okay, so the last sweater quantity I bought was from Eden Cottage Yarn, and it is their Titus DK and the mil-pound colorway. And this is a combination of superwash merino and silk. So it got a beautiful shine to it, and it is super soft, and I think that the silk will definitely help getting a garment that will have a nice texture and maybe not be pilling that much. So yeah, really love this, and I'm very happy that I at least ended up with one color other than the lilac-y purple. So yeah, blue is also a color that I really like. Okay, so from the festival, the last thing I bought was this braid from Spincycle yarn, and I actually don't know what the fiber is, but I can see a lot of very shiny threads in here, so I guess that it's either some kind of nylon or other artificial fiber, or maybe silk. I'm really not sure. And yeah, I guess it's also merino. It's very soft. So in addition to the yarn that I bought at the actual festival, I bought some yarn in a local shop in the city centre of Edinburgh, and I can't remember the name of the yarn shop, but I will put it up on the screen. It was a small but very nice and well assorted yarn shop. They had a lot of nice yarns that I have never tried or seen before. So Baram U, I guess it's called. They had a lot of these, and it is a very nice yarn. 100% British. A blend of 50% blue-faced Leicester, 25% Masham and 25% dark brown Masham. It's rustic, but it's not. It's very soft, although it's rustic. So I was thinking, as a contrast color to this one, maybe for the sweater that I was planning to knit, perhaps. Or it will easily be a couple of mittens. This is also DK weight yarn. I also bought this yarn, which I also found very interesting. It is from New Lanark Mills. And this is also DK. It's pure new wool and silk. And I think that the silk is the tweed flexes that you can see in this yarn. I think so. So yeah, I was thinking mittens as well for these 3 balls. And finally, I couldn't resist. They had a nice selection of West Yorkshire spinners, and this is a kind of yarn that we can't get hold of in Norway, so I just had to have a ball. And oh, what is the name of this particular ball? The colors, is it the Bluefinch colorway? It's one of the birds, can't remember which. Anyway, these will be socks. So that was my yarn haul from Edinburgh, and I am now officially on a yarn diet until I have knitted up a significant amount of these skeins.